Good afternoon, dear students. Myself Rajan Singh, Department of Bioinformatics. Today we discuss biodiversity. Biodiversity means bio means living and diversity means variety. So biodiversity is the variety of life on earth. It includes all organisms, species and populations. It also refers to the interrelatedness of genes, species and ecosystem, and in turn their interactions with the environment. The term biodiversity coined by Wilson in 1988. There are the three levels of biodiversity are commonly discussed. First one is genetic biodiversity, second is species biodiversity, and third is ecosystem biodiversity. Genetic biodiversity. Genetic biodiversity is all the different genes contained in all the living species, including individual plants, animals, fungi and microorganisms. Species biodiversity is all the different species as well as the differences within and between different species. And ecosystem biodiversity is all the different habitats, biological communities and ecological processes as well as variation within individual ecosystem. So there are three levels of biodiversity: genetic biodiversity, species biodiversity and ecosystem biodiversity. Main causes of biodiversity. There are different factors that cause of biodiversity loss: habitat loss and destruction, alternation in ecosystem compositions, invasive alien species, overexploitations, population and contaminations, and global climate change. These are the factors that cause the biodiversity loss. Population, it is the very important things. Due to the population, utilization of natural resources is more, so biodiversity loss, global climate changes. Biodiversity conservation. Conservation is the protection, prevention, management or restoration of wildlife and natural resources such as forest and water. Humans have been directly or indirectly dependent of biodiversity for sustenance to a considerable extent. However, increasing population pressure and development activities have led to large-scale depletion of natural resources. So if we do not conserve biodiversity, it creates a major problem in environment and human health. Types of conservation: in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. In situ conservation is the process of protecting an endangered plants or animal species in its natural habitat, either by protecting or cleaning up the habitat itself. In India, following types of natural habitats are being maintained: natural parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, scared forest and lakes. XC2 conservation. You know very well that X means outside and in means inside. So XC2 conservation is the preservation of components of biological diversity outside their natural habitats. This involves conservation of genetic resources as well as wild and cultivated or species, and draws on a diverse body of techniques and facilities. XC2 conservation include establishment of botanical gardens, zoo, conservation stand and gene, pollen seeds, seedling, tissue culture, DNA banks. In situ conservation. So we already told him that in means inside the natural system. So in situ conservation, a national park, first example is a national park. So a national park is an area which is strictly reserved for the betterment of the wildlife and where activities like forestry, grazing on cultivations are not permitted. In these parks, even private ownership rights are not allowed. So, some important national parks in India, you know very well, Corbett National Park, it is established in 1921, situated in Uttarakhand. Dudhwa National Park, Lakhimpur Kheri, Uttar Pradesh, established in 1977. Gir National Park, Gujarat, established in 1965. Kahana National Park, Kangar Ghati National Park, Kaziranga National Parks, Nanda Devi National Park, Sariska National Park, Silent Valley National Park and Sundarban National Park. So these are the some important parks in India. They are situated in different states. Wildlife sanctuaries. In wildlife sanctuaries, what do you mean? First of all, what do you mean by sanctuaries? A sanctuary is a protected area which is reserved for the conservation of only animals and human activities like harvesting of timber, collecting minor forest product and private ownership rights are allowed as long as they do not interfere with well-being of animals. Important wildlife sanctuaries in India, Ghana Bird Sanctuaries in Rajasthan, Hazaribagh Wildlife Sanctuary, Jharkhand, Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu, Jaldpara Wildlife Sanctuary in West Bengal, Mount Abu Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan, Annamalai Wildlife Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. It is also known as Indira Gandhi Wildlife Sanctuary. Biosphere reserves. It is a special category of protected areas where human populations also forms a part of the system. They are large protected area of usually more than 5,000 square kilometers. A biosphere reserve has three parts. Core, it is the inner zone that is undisturbed and legally protected areas. Buffer, it is a lie between the core and transition zone. Some research and educational activities are permitted here in buffer zone. Transition zone, it is the outermost part of biosphere reserves. Here cropping, foresting, recreation and other activities are allowed. Means transition zones means is the landscape. So cropping, foresting, recycling and other activities are allowed. The main functions of biodiversity rivers are conservation, to ensure the conservation of ecosystem, species and genetic resources. Developments, to promote economic developments while maintaining cultural, social and ecological identity. Scientific research, to provide support for research related to monitoring and education, local and global issues. So these are the main functions of biodiversity rivers. After that, some major biosphere reserves of India: Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserves in Uttarakhand, Manas in Assam, Gulf of Mannar, Tamil Nadu, Greater Noida, Panchmani in Madhya Pradesh, Great Nicobar is Andaman and Nicobar. So these are the some major biosphere reserves of India. So these are the in situ, so many examples like that: national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere. So what is the advantages if we save our biodiversity? You save the environment. So in situ conservation means national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biospheres. If you conserve these things, what is the advantages? The flora and fauna live in natural habitats without human interference. The life cycles of the organisms and their evolution progresses in a natural way. In situ conservation provides the required green cover and its associated benefits to our environment. It is less expensive and easy to manage. You know very well that natural process is not more expensive, less expensive and easy to manage. The interacts of the indigenous peoples are also protected. Another is a ex situ conservation. So ex situ conservation is the preservation of biological diversity outside their natural habitat. We already told ex means outside and in means inside the natural habitats. In ex situ conservation, cryopreservation is the latest technology for preservation of biotic parts. It is done at very low temperature in liquid nitrogen. The metabolic activities of the organisms are suspended under low temperature, which are later used for research purpose. The examples of the ex situ conservations are botanical gardens, zoological gardens, tissue culture banks, etc. Botanical gardens. It is a place where flowers, fruits and vegetables are grown. The botanical gardens provide beauty and silent environment and also useful for research purpose. Zoological gardens. In zoo, wild animals are maintained in captivity and conservation of wild animals. In India, the first zoo came into existence at Barpore in 1800 in West Bengal. Near about there are 800 zoos in India. Advantages of ex situ conservation. It is useful for the decline population of species. Endangered animals on the verge of extinction are successfully breeded. Threatened species are breeded in captivity and then released in the natural habitats. Ex situ conservation offers the possibilities of observing wild animals which is otherwise not possible. It is extremely useful for conducting research work on different species. Threats of biodiversity. Some of the major causes and issues related to threats of biodiversity are loss of habitat and deforestation, climate change, overexploitation, invasive species and pollution. We already discussed कि if we use more natural resources या we over exploitation of our natural resources, our biodiversity is lost. Population, pollution, biodiversity at national and local level. In India, total land area is 143 million hectare. India occupies 2.47% of the world's geographical areas and has only 1% of the forest. India is sharing 12.53% of world's biodiversity. India has over 1,08,278 species of bacteria, fungi and animals already identified. India is 10th amongst the plant-rich countries of the world, 4th among the Asian countries, 11th according to the number of endemic species of higher vertebrates, and 10th rank in the world as far as richness in mammals is concerned. Out of 10 hotspot identified in the world, India has 4. These are Eastern Himalayas, Northeast India, Western Ghats and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. India ranks 6th among the center of diversity and origin in terms of agro-biodiversity. Biodiversity hotspot. It is a biogeographic regions which significant levels of biodiversity that is threatened with destructions. The hotspot occupy 2% of the land area of the earth. The concept of hotspots given by Norman Maier in 1988. They contain 50% of biodiversity, 45% of plants, 25% of vertebrates are endemic to hotspot. So after that, in a particular area, how to calculate biodiversity? Biodiversity calculate through a Simpson index. How to calculate? We already discussed a formula, and we use this formula, we calculate a biodiversity in a given area.